In Hollywood, where fame, fortune, and public scrutiny dominate, it's no surprise that some celebrities might want to escape the relentless pressure. While most of us assume that celebrity deaths are tragic and real, there have been several instances where rumors surfaced that a star faked their death to disappear from the public eye. Could a celebrity really fake their death? Or is it just another conspiracy theory that the internet has latched onto? Let's explore one of the most captivating cases of a celebrity allegedly faking their death. Tupac Shakur, the king of West Coast hip-hop. Tupac Shakur remains one of the most influential figures in hip-hop history, and his death in 1996 shocked the world. However, there have always been whispers that Tupac didn't actually die that night. He was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, but many fans and conspiracy theorists believe that Tupac staged his own death and went into hiding. Several theories about Tupac's death have circulated for years, claiming that he used his murder as a way to escape the dangerous life of fame, violence, and the constant threat of gang-related conflict. Some theorists argue that Tupac faked his death to avoid the growing tension in the hip-hop community and to escape his own demons. There's also the fact that Tupac's final album, The the 7-Day Theory, which was released just after his death, contains cryptic lyrics that many believe allude to his departure from the public eye. For example, the album's cover art features a figure with a straddle over their head, leading some fans to speculate that it represents Tupac's death and rebirth. Moreover, there have been numerous alleged sightings of Tupac after his death, with fans reporting seeing him in Cuba and other locations. These sightings, combined with his untimely death and the cryptic messages in his music, fuel the conspiracy theory that Tupac didn't die in 1996, but instead faked his own death and vanished from the public eye. Despite the official story that Tupac was murdered and his death remains unsolved, the idea that he faked his death continues to captivate the imagination of his fans. Is Tupac really gone, or did he escape the harsh realities of his fame and fortune by disappearing? Elvis Presley. The king lives on. Elvis Presley is one of the most iconic figures in music history. When Elvis passed away in 1977, millions of fans mourned the loss of the king of rock and roll. However, there are still those who believe that Elvis didn't die in 1977, but instead faked his own death to escape the pressures of fame. Elvis was reportedly dealing with health problems, including drug addiction, depression, and exhaustion, in the years leading up to his death. Some fans speculate that Elvis staged his death to live a more peaceful life away from the spotlight. His death was followed by rumors that he was seen in various places around the world, including Memphis and Las Vegas, and some even claim to have seen him alive at his own funeral. Adding fuel to this fire is the fact that Elvis was deeply fascinated by conspiracy theories and secret societies, leading some to believe that he may have used his fame to orchestrate an elaborate hoax. The king's apparent reclusive nature and lack of a definitive public farewell only fueled suspicions that Elvis faked his death. Many fans point to the reports of sightings of Elvis in the years following his death, some even suggesting that he was seen working in various small businesses or living as a common man. The theory of Elvis faking his death is still alive today, with people claiming that the king continues to live on in secret. Did Elvis Presley really pass away in 1977, or did he orchestrate the most famous fake death in history? Andy Kaufman, the master of comedy's final prank. One of the most unusual cases of a celebrity allegedly faking their death involves comedian Andy Kaufman. Known for his eccentric sense of humor and bizarre antics, Kaufman was never one to play by the rules. When he died from lung cancer in 1984 at the age of 35, many fans couldn't accept that a comedian so full of life could just disappear. Rumors began circulating shortly after his death that Kaufman had faked his own death as the ultimate comedic prank. Kaufman's style of humor often blurred the line between reality and absurdity, and it wasn't out of character for him to stage a death to leave his fans wondering whether or not it was real. Kaufman had made it known in interviews that he was fascinated with the idea of faking his death and had even discussed it with friends and colleagues. Adding to the intrigue, Kaufman's brother, Michael Kaufman, claimed in interviews that he believed Andy was still alive. There were reports of sightings of Kaufman after his supposed death, and some fans believed that Kaufman was living a quiet life under an alias, enjoying the attention and confusion that his death hoax created. In 1999, Kaufman's longtime friend and fellow comedian Bob Zmuda published a book suggesting that Kaufman might still be alive and hiding. Zmuda mentioned that Kaufman had discussed faking his death as a way to remove himself from the public eye and focus on other projects, leaving his fans to question whether Kaufman's death was a final performance. To this day, there's no concrete evidence that Andy Kaufman faked his death, but the theory persists. Kaufman was known for pushing the boundaries of comedy, and many people still wonder if his death was part of his ultimate joke. Jim Morrison, the Lizard King's exit strategy. Jim Morrison, the legendary lead singer of The Doors, was found dead in a bathtub in 1971 under mysterious circumstances. While the official cause of death was ruled as heart failure, there has always been speculation surrounding the true cause of Morrison's death and whether he'd actually died at all. Morrison was known for his rebellious and eccentric lifestyle, and his fame was matched by his increasingly erratic behavior. As Morrison's fame grew, so did his desire to escape the pressures of being a public figure. Some theorists believe that Morrison faked his own death to leave behind the world of rock stardom and live a more private, peaceful life. Morrison had reportedly been interested in leaving the US for France, and some believe that he faked his death in order to do so. The theory gained traction when, in 1972, a man claimed to have seen Morrison living in Paris, raising suspicions that he was living under a new identity. Other fans point to the lack of a formal autopsy and the mysterious nature of his death as signs that it may have been a staged event. Even though Morrison's grave remains a place of pilgrimage for fans, the theory that he faked his death has persisted for decades. Did Jim Morrison really die in 1971, or did he escape the public eye to live a life of anonymity in Paris? Kurt Cobain, did he really commit suicide? The tragic death of Kurt Cobain, the lead singer and guitarist of Nirvana, shocked the world in 1994. Officially ruled as a suicide, Kurt's death has sparked numerous conspiracy theories suggesting that he may have faked his own death to escape the overwhelming pressures of fame, addiction, and personal turmoil. Cobain's tumultuous relationship with fame, combined with his struggles with heroin addiction and mental health issues, made his death seem like a logical conclusion to many. However, conspiracy theorists argue that Cobain was too smart to simply give in to despair. Some believe that Cobain may have staged his death to disappear from the limelight and escape the chaos of his celebrity life. They point to the lack of a suicide note and inconsistencies in the evidence found at the scene. Moreover, a number of his close friends and associates, including Kurt's former bandmate, Chris Novoselic, have hinted at their doubts surrounding his death. Several alternative theories suggest that Cobain's death was either an elaborate hoax or a cover-up orchestrated by those around him to protect him from the media frenzy and constant pressure. Could it be possible that Kurt Cobain's death was not what it appeared to be? The theory persists even decades later, fueling debate among fans and conspiracy enthusiasts. Michael Jackson, the king of pop's final act. When Michael Jackson, the king of pop, passed away in 2009, fans and the media were devastated. However, much like Tupac and Elvis, rumors began to swirl that Michael Jackson faked his death to escape the relentless scrutiny and financial difficulties that had plagued his life. Jackson's life had been full of legal battles, public scrutiny, and financial problems, and some fans believe he staged his death as a way to live a quieter, more peaceful life away from the spotlight. Several details of Michael Jackson's death raised suspicion, such as the rushed and confusing nature of the media's reporting. Fans began to point out inconsistencies in the timeline of events surrounding his death and funeral, sparking speculation that the entire incident was staged. There have been unsubstantiated claims of sightings of Michael Jackson in various locations after his death, with some fans believing he was living in disguise or under a new identity. The theory gained traction when Jackson's posthumous album Michael featured tracks that some believed were recorded years after his alleged death. Did Michael Jackson fake his death to escape the pressures of his fame? Or is it simply another conspiracy fueled by the public's need to keep their hero alive? Paul McCartney, the Paul is Dead hoax. One of the most famous celebrity death hoaxes of all time is the case of Paul McCartney from the Beatles. In 1967, rumors began to circulate that Paul McCartney had died in a car accident and had been replaced by a lookalike. According to this theory, McCartney's death was covered up by the surviving members of the Beatles and the music industry to avoid creating a scandal. The Paul is Dead hoax was fueled by supposed clues hidden in the Beatles' albums, particularly this cut: Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and Abbey Road. Fans pointed to backward messages, cryptic album covers, and altered lyrics as evidence that McCartney had passed away. One of the most famous pieces of evidence cited by conspiracy theorists is the Abbey Road cover, where Paul is shown barefoot and out of step with the other band members. This was interpreted as a symbolic representation of death. The Beatles themselves never confirmed or denied the theory, but McCartney embraced it in a way that kept the rumor alive. Over the years, he has joked about it, even stating that if he were dead, he would have a great deal to say about it. The Paul is Dead conspiracy remains one of the most enduring and bizarre celebrity death hoaxes to this day. So did Paul McCartney really die in 1967? Or was the Paul is Dead theory just a clever hoax? Natalie Wood, the mysterious drowning. The death of Natalie Wood, the beloved actress best known for her roles in West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause, is shrouded in mystery and speculation. In 1981, Wood was found drowned off the coast of Catalina Island, but the circumstances surrounding her death have long been disputed. While the official cause of death was ruled as an accidental drowning, many people believe that Natalie Wood didn't actually die that night. Some theorists suggest that she may have faked her own death to escape the turmoil in her life, including an unhappy marriage to actor Robert Wagner and the pressures of Hollywood stardom. There were reports that Wood had been drinking heavily the night of her death, and there were inconsistencies in the stories told by those who were on the boat with her, including Wagner and actor Christopher Walken. Some conspiracy theories suggest that the drowning was a staged event, with Natalie Wood either disappearing or being murdered by those close to her. In 2011, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened the investigation into her death, which led to renewed speculation that Wood's death was not accidental. Could Natalie Wood's tragic end have been orchestrated to make it look like an accident, or was it, as many believe, a carefully planned disappearance? Andy Warhol, the art world's greatest escape. Famed pop artist Andy Warhol was known for his eccentric personality and avant-garde approach to art. When Warhol passed away in 1987, it seemed like the end of an era in the art world. However, some have speculated that Warhol didn't actually die, but faked his own death to escape the fame and pressure that accompanied his career. Warhol was a master at manipulating public perception, and many believe he could have orchestrated his own disappearance as part of his art. His fascination with the concept of celebrity fame and the media led some to suggest that he might have viewed death as his final, most daring performance. By faking his death, Warhol would be able to break free from the endless cycle of media attention and live his life on his own terms. Warhol's personal life was often filled with bizarre incidents, such as his time spent with the Warhol superstars and his willingness to blur the lines between reality and art. If anyone was capable of faking their death as a form of artistic expression, many believed it would have been Warhol. Was Warhol's death a mere medical complication, or was it part of a larger artistic statement that continues to fuel the myth of his escape? From Tupac Shakur to Michael Jackson, and Kurt Cobain to Andy Warhol, the idea of celebrities faking their own deaths continues to captivate the public's imagination. Whether it's to escape the pressures of fame, to avoid legal troubles, or simply to create a legacy of mystery, these celebrities remain the subject of conspiracy theories that will never truly die. Could some of these famous stars really still be out there living a quiet life away from the spotlight? While the official stories say otherwise, the fascination with these theories continues to grow. If you loved uncovering these celebrity death hoaxes, don't forget to like and subscribe to Vital Vibe for more jaw-dropping stories about the hidden lives of the rich and famous.